Hey there, thank you for joining us today. I'm excited you're here. You're going to want to make sure and stay tuned for this one. I've got a really exciting guest coming up for you. We're going to talk about some really cool stuff with the real estate market going on right here in the Low Country. It's stuff you don't want to miss. Again, thank you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and stay tuned. We'll be right back. Rock and roll. Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited. Today is awesome. I'm doing a local business spotlight and I am really excited to introduce. I've got Dan Swift. Dan is with the TSG Real Estate Group right here in Summerville. He and his firm are the real estate gurus in the Low Country in Summerville, so I'm excited to welcome him to the agency. So welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Justin. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's start, Dan. Tell us a little bit about TSG, what you guys do, what kind of separates you from the pack?
Well, we're a small family-owned business, so it's me and my wife that own it, and we're a smaller brokerage. We're an 18-agent brokerage right now. And our big thing about opening our own brokerage originally was to be able to build something that was kind of built on our core philosophy of how we built our businesses over 20 years in real estate, which is very much built on servant leadership and a commitment to the golden rule. So our agents very much function as a team. We're like a little family. We joke around and get along, and it's a very fun place to work. And all of our agents basically buy into our culture.
I love it. And again, it's just, that fun culture and just having a good time and absolutely. Good. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about real estate. Obviously, as you know, the market, for lack of better words, is a little crazy.
It's been a little strange. And it is a popular question. It's like, what's going on in the market? What's going to happen in the market? So both me and my wife have been in the business over 20 years. So I actually owned a real estate company when the market collapsed in 2007, 2008 in California. And California had a massive collapse. It was probably California and Florida were probably the two biggest states hit when the market fell out, when the bottom fell out. A lot of people are looking at it going, are we in that type of market again? And in reality, no, because that was a speculation-driven market. Okay. So on the secondary market, you had speculation being driven by derivatives and mortgage swaps, and the people writing mortgages being the buyers of the derivatives.
Sure.
So you had this big giant spec gamble, right?
The house of cards, if you will.
Exactly. And then on the retail side, which was probably as bad, if not worse, you had the ability for investors to buy loans with no money down, and you could do a Nina loan, which is no income, no asset, a Ninja loan, no income, no job, no assets. And there was actually 110% financing loans available. The market was so speculation driven. So now what you have is it's really being driven by mostly buyers who want to live in a home. I mean, it's just people who want to buy a home to live in. There are no zero down investment loans anymore, thankfully. Which was never a really good idea, because if it's an investment, if that investment was upside down, the smartest thing to do would be to walk away from it.
One would think, right?
You totally could.
Sure.
The banks weren't really prepared for that, in 2007, 2008 to renegotiate all that debt. So a lot of times these people just walked away from the houses, so you end up with ghost towns, ghost houses, neighborhoods and whatnot. So, as far as what the market's doing right now, I mean, it has been a very strong seller's market, which can get frustrating for buyers. We work with a lot of buyers. I actually got into real estate originally 20 some years ago because of how badly I was represented when I bought my first house, right? So for me, we've always focused a lot on buyers. Really like helping people give them the keys to their first home, right? So, 80% of all wealth in the United States is real estate.
Sure.
So for people to be able to own their first home, to me, has always been a big thing. So for buyers, it gets a little frustrating, but the market's turning a little bit. It's cooling off a little bit, and it's partially driven by buyer fatigue. Yeah. Buyers are saying, well, let me wait a little bit. So you're seeing it's still a seller's market, but you're seeing it being a little bit more reasonable for buyers.
Okay. Are you seeing, and just a high level question. I mean, is it pretty much as soon as something is going on the market? What's the average where that day they're getting offers here in Charleston, maybe in the low country?
Yeah, depending on the home. I mean, if it's an entry level, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, Summerville home, you're gonna be gone in 3-4 days.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes you're gone in 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on the demand for the neighborhood, right? So, an area like, if you pick a neighborhood like Westcott, a lot of times those homes will sell really quick. But, you are seeing that slow down a little bit.
Okay.
Which is good.
Sure.
Gives buyers a chance to actually get into the home.
Sure.
And you're seeing, there was a lot of, in the last probably year, there was a lot of stuff that was done that, to me, is completely irrational. Buyers waiving appraisal contingencies. By the way, if you're buying a house, don't waive your appraisal contingency. Have your house appraised. Don't waive your inspection. Have the house inspected. You don't have to ask for repairs, but don't waive your right to have the house inspected.
Sure. Just because you want it that badly.
Yeah, because the reality is you could waive your appraisal, your inspection, right? Contingency. You can say, we're not going to ask for any repairs, and then you still have an inspection done, and realize that you need to do $20,000 in roof work, and you need a new AC unit, right? So you just spent 30 grand. Had you known about that, you could have negotiated that with the seller. But when you waive your rights to that, you waive
it's off the table.
Yeah, you're
done.
Waive your right to negotiate.
Sure.
And we haven't done that once. Waived the inspection, and we haven't waived the appraisal contingency. And we've had homes that didn't appraise for our buyers, and we were able to get the seller to come back down to that appraisal value.
Interesting.
So you don't have to,
sure,
be irrational in order to get a deal done.
So it sounds like and we saw a lot of that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. It's an overreaction. To be quite frank, sometimes it's an overreaction driven by agents trying to get a deal done, right? So, because they're getting, pressure from their buyer a lot of times. The buyer's like, hey, we got to get into a house. We have to get into a house, which is totally understandable, but you want to get in the right house in the right way.
That's right. Yeah, just really good info there, looking at the market and what it's doing, and specific to Charleston. It's just, again, just crazy. Last thing, and you kind of started hitting on it there a little bit, talk to me about first-time home buyers. We see, especially in this market, we get a lot of folks coming to Summerville in the low country.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me, maybe some tips that you would give to first-time home buyers.
Tips for first-time home buyers. First thing is get pre-approved with a lender. Make sure you know what you can afford, how much you can afford. Make sure you know if you need to repair anything on your credit. A lot of that stuff does not take a very long period of time, but you need to do it before you can be approved. Number 2 is regardless of what you get approved for on the dollar amount, buy the payment you're comfortable with. So I'll give you a great example. They're not a first-time buyer, but they're clients of ours, and the lender sent over an approval letter for $500,000.
Okay.
They're comfortable at a mortgage of $400,000. It's like, just because you get approved for an amount, it's like
doesn't mean you have to take that amount.
Exactly, right? It's like, you're comfortable at this, let's find this, right?
Sure.
So figure out the mortgage payment and what payment you're comfortable with, not necessarily just how much you can get approved for. After that, when you look at buying, particularly, buying any house, you can repair a house, you can fix a house, you can make a house your own. You cannot pick a house up and move it to a different neighborhood.
Sure.
So a lot of what you buy is actually the neighborhood. So start looking at the neighborhoods that you like, that you're interested in, that work for the school district that you want to be in. We recommend Dorchester too. We have a lot of clients who do it, that want to be in Dorchester 2 school district. So, you look at it that way. Look at it, where's the neighborhood? Where do you want to live? And then go from there. And then come up with your needs of wants, and your wants and your musts have. So if you have to have 3 bedrooms, you have to have 2 baths, whatever. You need a fence for the dog. Whatever. Come up with that kind of list.
Sure.
And then work out from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and again, I would just tell you, with our home purchases that we've done, both Jessica and I would tell you, a lot of folks, especially first-time home buyers, I think sometimes they feel like they can come in and do it all on their own. They can do it online and find the home and go through that process. But there's so much in the weeds stuff that you don't think about. And so my recommendation, I think you would agree, I absolutely would recommend finding a really good agent.
Yes.
even, listen, I love TSG, phenomenal. Even if it's not TSG, there's some really great agencies out there and agents. Find an agent.
Yeah, and when you look at, essentially hiring an agent, you want somebody that matches you, right? Somebody whose personality matches you, somebody that you very much feel has your best interest at heart. I know a lot of business attorneys. I have one business attorney I use, right? So it doesn't mean I don't know a lot, and doesn't mean they're bad attorneys.
Sure.
Right? But this is who matches my interest, and this is who I feel has my interest at heart the best. And that's what you're hiring. You're hiring somebody to partner with to help you accomplish a goal. So
that's right. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So again, guys, Dan Swift, TSG Real Estate. Dan, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you guys will continue to tune in. I'm going to bring you all sorts of amazing content, some really good folks from the Low Country, just industry experts like Dan. We're going to keep on doing this kind of stuff. If you haven't already, please, 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 of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We appreciate that. And again, stay tuned. I'm going to bring you more cool stuff, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks, guys.